Boker Tov, good morning. I am thrilled and honored to welcome all of you to this momentous occasion in the life of Stephen Wise Temple and Wise School. As many of you know, this is the 40th anniversary of Wise School. And our theme for the year is Rav Shalom a quotation from the book of Isaiah. The Hebrew word banai is your children, and the word bonai is your builders. And we know that our children, studying the wisdom of our tradition, are in fact engaged in construction. Through their learning, they are building a better world, making great happen for themselves and others. At Wise School, we have built so much over the past 40 years. Students, especially, I want you to think about this. 40 years from now, people will look back at pictures from this day. Some of them might even be your children, and they will be awed by the work we have done. They will stand on our shoulders just as we stand on the shoulders of the people who built our temple and our school over the decades. Building for the future takes preparation, energy, and it involves some disruptions as well. Today is the culmination of 5 years and planning and 16 months of construction. It involved a lot of adjustments: parking, carpool, moving recess, moving lunch again and again, a lot of noise and a lot of dust. But when the fences came down on Wednesday, we could see the results of all of those efforts. One of the students walked by and exclaimed, "It is everything I ever wanted." In a very short time, we will be cutting the ribbon and opening the pavilion. I look forward to celebrating special family events here together. I'm looking forward to dancing with you at your bar and bat mitzvahs, and one day, God willing, at your weddings. I look forward to sitting on those bleachers with you and cheering you on. And I look forward to hanging many future championship banners on these walls. Today, we celebrate an important milestone in the life of our community, our school, and our temple. In honor of this moment, I invite Sasha Yedidi, James Goetzian, Ryan Moss, Jasmine Abayan, Eliana Spillick, and Josh Kabay, students representing all of the schools at Stephen Wise Temple, to join Cantor Nathan Lamb in the Star-Spangled Banner and Hatikva. Would you all please rise?
At the Good morning, everybody. Hello, Boker Tov, buenos dias. My name is Leandro Tyberg, and I'm very, very honored to be here. As the chair of the building committee, it's my privilege to offer a couple words. On this hilltop, here we stand, together as a community, together as friends, together as a people who take care of and look out for each other, together as a people who recognize our obligation to make the world a better place, to repair the world, and to plant seeds in a garden that will bear fruit for the generations to come. Like many of us on this hilltop, my family came to Wise and found sanctuary. My parents, Rosita and Juan, brought us to this country in 1977 from Argentina, and we became members a few years thereafter. My sister Barbara and I were enrolled here at Wise and spent year after year on this hilltop, surrounded by a community who cared for us, who nurtured us, and helped lay the foundation of what would become our Jewish and moral identity. As a kid, under these rafters of Hershenson Hall, we played tag, drank mitz tapuchim, had camp sleepovers, learned Hebrew, played duck, duck, goose, did musical theater, sang songs, had our spring dances, and we grew up. Here, under the rafters of Hershenson Hall, I made out with my first girlfriend. Here on this hilltop, Barbara and I learned under the tutelage of Rabbi Zeldin, Metuka Benjamin, Cantor Lamb, Rabbi Hersher, and countless others. In fact, Rabbi Hersher officiated at my bar mitzvah, at my sister's wedding, my cousin's wedding, both of his weddings in fact. He was there in my chuppah when I stomped on a cup and married my beautiful wife, Lori. He was there for my daughter Francesca's baby naming, my son Rowan's brit milah, for most of my family's proudest moments. But he was there for our life cycle events as well, that were painful and heartrending. He was there for me when, as a kid in 5th grade here at Wise, he came to tell me that my best friend Andy Lippin was dying, and he was there to comfort our whole class after he passed. He has always been there for me when I needed him, as he has been there for so many of us gathered here today. So when he called me 5 years ago and asked me to chair the building committee, it was an easy decision. Winston Churchill once said, "We shape our buildings, thereafter they shape us." As I was shaped by the hard work and dedication of those who built this community over the last 50 years, it was clear that the time had come for us to band together and form a team of people who would continue to shape this hilltop for the years to come. Our committee has been guided by the wisdom of Ken Ruby, who taught us the histories of the previous building committees, what it took to get us here, and what to consider as we move forward. We have also been inspired, led, and shepherded by our other committee members, Alex Moradi, Kenneth Lee, and Benjamin Soleimani. As a committee, and in tremendous partnership with the Wise Board of Directors, the Wise staff, and the Wise clergy, we have been privileged to assemble and collaborate with people who take great pride in their work. People who understood that this is more than just a typical construction project. People who respect the spirit and intent of what we wanted to shape here on this hilltop. Our brilliant, inspired, and incredibly talented architect, Mr. Michael Lair. Michael, who can see around corners. Michael, who designs places that leave an emotional effect on you. Michael, who combined our history and our culture and married that with the finest principles architecture has to offer. The word architect comes from the Greek architekton, meaning master builder. Michael, you're a master builder indeed. Michael's team also helped execute his vision and were our key collaborators, compatriots, and sometimes conspirators along the way. The talented and very insightful Roberta Scheinberg and Alex Clark. The Shalom Garden, the great commons, the hardscape, and the landscape has been thoughtfully and meticulously designed by the office of Mia Lehrer and Associates. Mia Lehrer and Matt Lisney have helped to create a sense, a beautiful place that is serene, contemplative, and joyous, and it invites you to participate, to engage, to reflect, and to be inspired. You have left an indelible impression in our hearts and minds, and as Khalil Gibran once said, your work is your love made visible. We've also been led by our detailed and tireless construction management team at Sea Rock Stafford, led by David Stafford and Alex Grosjean. Shaping a project of this magnitude is a tremendous feat, and their commitment, hard work, and tenacity are deeply appreciated, as has been their friendship and their counsel along the way. We've benefited greatly from our partnership with Del Amo Construction, our general contractors, who built this beautiful project. Passionately led by Steve Donahue, whose company worked on other projects here on the campus in the 1980s, and who has treated this project as something very personal and very special. The Del Amo team consisted of Dennis Billings, Nancy Gutierrez, Bennett Acker, John Hansen, and of course, Gene Postard, whom the children affectionately call Builder Gene, Builder Gene. I would like to say that Del Amo Construction are some of the most talented, caring, and amazing contractors we've ever worked with. I'd like to say that. I would like to say that. However, we still have a few change orders to resolve. So I'd rather not say that publicly just yet. And over us all are the torchbearers, the dreamers, the idealists, the handholders, the visionaries of WISE, that we look to for leadership, governance, and guidance. As we terraformed, drilled into the bedrock, and erected this artwork inside the heart of an active and vibrant campus. Thank you to the amazing board of directors of Stephen Wise Temple, led by Steve Fishman and his predecessor, Glenn Sonnenberg. It's impossible to name everyone at WISE who contributed of their time, their sweat, their wit, their wisdom, assistance, and hard work. All are appreciated. And no matter how large or how small your contribution, you represent the fabric of what keeps us together. Our maintenance crews, our event coordinators, our security teams. Our technical wizards led by Mark Entis, our athletics department who rally under Coach Ryan Hostler, our talented Director of Development, Jessica Lebovitz. If she hasn't called you for a contribution, just wait. She will. Our partner in all things, Executive Director and COO, Sharon Spirit Fisher. Our brilliant, tireless, passionate, and loving head of school, Tammy White. And our beloved friend and our guiding light, Senior Rabbi Yoshi Spiker. Oh, here we are, on this hilltop, shaped by the memories and in honor of the people who made us who we are. Secure in the knowledge that the work that we do here at WISE will have a lasting impact on the lives of our grandparents, our parents, our children and our children's children. Here we are, shaped by the belief that what we have all accomplished here today matters. It matters very much. We shape our buildings, thereafter they shape us. Indeed. Thank you.
There is nothing that I would rather do this morning than reach out to each of you and shake your hands and give you a hug of joy and of gratitude and love. However, I have a touch of something going on in this body that I'm not going to spread. So, my hug. My hug comes from my heart with the hope that it does enter yours. About 5 years ago, a wonderful team of the most talented and committed people that you're ever likely to meet began to dream about this campus, to envision the beginning of its transformation. This morning, I could not be any more gratified or excited than I am right now about where those 5 years have taken us. And at the same time, I'm anticipating the next chapters, everything that our Stephen Weiss community will create in the years to come. In the meantime, I cannot wait until tomorrow morning. Are we going to be in here tomorrow morning?
Maybe.
Forget maybe. I can't wait till tomorrow morning, and if it's the day after tomorrow, that's fine as well, when this room is going to be filled with a lot of very happy, youthful, exuberant voices, when our kids are going to be playing ball right here. For next month, when our first bat mitzvah and her family are going to be dancing in celebration right here, and so on and on and on into the future. We built this for them as we expect, they will build for those who follow. Only a few weeks ago, I was taken on a drive out to a dusty nursery. I can't tell you where that was. I got into Roberto's car and we went somewhere an hour or so north of here where I'd never been before, so that I could help select personally each one of the olive trees that are now firmly planted right out there in the soil of this mountaintop. Olive trees, perhaps to create an echo of the landscape of Israel, perhaps to remind us of the single olive branch held in the beak of a dove, brought to Noah as a promise that there would be a future. A promise that that future could be, that future would be one of Shalom. And today those trees are surrounded by what we are calling the wise path, every stone of which comes from Jerusalem. Even the seemingly smallest of details of everything that we see around us connect us to places and to values that are eternal. So I can't wait to see all of the joy that will unfold in this room, and I cannot wait to watch Shalom Garden grow and to sit one day in its shade with you. There is this morning so much to be grateful for, and a great future toward which we look. Leandro Tyberg, there you are. You so beautifully thanked everyone I want to thank. So I'm not going to repeat their names, and I'll find a way of thanking them personally and privately. And I will simply echo, Leandro, your gratitude to all those whose labors and generosity and creative efforts have brought us to the gift of this extraordinarily beautiful building, this tent, so to speak. This tent that looks out to the world and welcomes that world into a garden. The only person, Leandro, that you could thank, of course, is yourself. So thank you for your extraordinary leadership, but even more for the sensitive and so deeply Jewish understanding that you just expressed. An understanding that we all should pay close attention to. That your story did not begin with you. But that began nearly 4 decades ago when Juan and Rosita immigrated to America with their children and planted you in this soil and in the soul of Stephen Wise Temple, to be nurtured here, to grow, and to learn to give graciously and unstintingly, and to create, to build generously for others. That, my friends, is what this day is about. It's about knowing where we come from and understanding what is expected of us. You made brief mention of your bar mitzvah, and I do remember your bar mitzvah. But I'm going to mention my own. On this particular morning of November 5th, because it was on this date, November 5th, 57 years ago, do the math, that this 13-year-old little boy chanted the story of Abraham building a tent. The first building project of our people was a tent. And it was a tent for which one entrance would not suffice. Abraham wanted his tent to be entirely open to the world. And so he created it with 4 entrances. An entrance on each side, so that if strangers approached, no matter where they came from, no matter their creed or color or identity, they would be welcomed by a wide open tent. And when, in fact, Abraham saw 3 strangers approaching in the distance, he didn't wait for them to draw near. The Torah makes sure to tell us that Abraham actually rushed out toward them. He ran to greet them, and look at the text, because it tells you that he actually begged them. He begged them to come into his tent. I'd like to think that Abraham, the first Jew, would appreciate this tent we have built, not only for its physical beauty that its openness creates, and you'll see that openness even more than you do in a few moments when somehow wondrously these doors, really windows to the world, completely and gloriously open. I can't wait. But more than that, I would like to believe that Abraham and every Jew who is a child and a grandchild and a great-grandchild of Abraham, that is, all of us, might be inspired by the continuing aspiration of our temple and our schools to always be an open tent, an open community, running out to welcome anyone who seeks entrance to a home, with an outstretched hand, with an embrace, with an open heart. The Torah tells us that Abraham received more blessings than he could count. But it turns out that the greatest blessing of them all was as much a challenge as it was a blessing. bestowed on Abraham's grandson Jacob, and through him to each future generation and to all of us today. These are the words of the blessing and the challenge, and they are inscribed at the entrance to this building. V'nivrachu v'cha kol mishpachot ha'adama u'v'zarecha, and all the families of the earth will be blessed through you, and through your descendants. There are so many individuals representing over 300 families whose generous hands and open hearts made possible all of the blessings that we celebrate today. Please know, from the depths of our hearts, how grateful we are to each of you. Ron Katz, you know how deeply I treasure you and your family for so many reasons, but chief among them the depth of your humanity and that of your Maddie of blessed memory. A humanity that is expressed every day in the healing, the hope, and the restored dignity you bring to our nation's wounded warriors. That and so much more brings honor to us, to this congregation, to this community, in having your family name on this building. It is because of you, that we were able to break ground. And your leadership inspired everyone else to follow, to build. On behalf of all who have given, it's my distinct and special honor to invite you to receive our heartfelt gratitude.
Space for many great events, including celebrating the arts, social events, sports, and cultural happenings. None of this would have been possible without the untiring dedication of Rabbi Hersher. It was his passion, dedication to this building, and its completion, which inspired us to join him in this mission. Thank you, Rabbi Hersher, for this and for all of you who have done to make this possible. A special piece of thank you to Rabbi Yoshi for the extraordinary energy and enthusiasm you have shown in ensuring the completion of this exciting pavilion. Thank you, everybody.
We are now going to welcome the youth of our Center for Youth Engagement, and as they come in, we're going to sing Hine Matov as we welcome all the children, how good it is to be together. Hine Matov.
Thank you. was a good entrance way. You hit your mark right on time. It's beautiful. Welcome. As Rabbi Hersher pointed out, Abraham, our ancestor, was all about hospitality. According to our tradition, Abraham and his wife Sarah elevated Hachnasat Orchim, the value of welcoming others, to an art form. Hachnasat Orchim is about making people feel at home. It's about opening our doors, but it's also about opening our hearts. And the visionaries who founded Stephen Wise Temple, they built a home for us, a place for us to make meaning and change the world, to learn about who we are, what we believe in, what we stand for, and what we need to stand up to. They built for us a Beit Sefer. And they built for us also a place of community, a place to play and celebrate, a parenting center where we could form friendships that would last a lifetime. And I know there are people in this room today, people who generously supported this project, who made some of the best friends in their lives in our parenting center and in our schools. And they built for us a place where we could be guided by clergy who would be there for us throughout the decades, in times of joy and also in times of sadness. They built for us a Beit Knesset. Rabbi Isaiah Zeldin, and Shai, I know you're watching because I talked to Rabbi Zeldin this morning, and he was really excited, and I reminded him that this was this momentous day in the life of our community. Rabbi Zeldin, I know that you've been at many dedication ceremonies over the year, and I told you this morning that we wouldn't be here without you, and he said, thank you for saying it. But Rabbi Zeldin and his wife Florence, a blessed memory, and the founding families of our congregation, and Abe and Sylvia Hershenson and many others, built this bite, this home for us. So a question I've been thinking a lot about is how can we adequately thank them for all that they did, for the countless blessings that we acknowledge today? How can we thank our generous donors and visionaries who made this project possible? And I'm reminded by something that my grandfather used to teach me. My grandpa Joe, may his memory be for a blessing. When he would take me out to lunch, I'd always say thank you. And he said, you don't have to say thank you to me. He said, if you want to thank me, someday you'll take your grandson out to lunch. So children, all the students of our schools, there are two ways I want you to express your gratitude today and in the days to come. First of all, I know that you'll share words of thanks, a hearty todah rabbah, and maybe a high five or 20 to Rabbi Hersher, to his wife Bonnie, for their leadership of 4 decades that have helped to make this day possible. And I know you're going to say todah rabbah, thank you to our architects and to our builders, the craftspeople who made this beautiful, beautiful project possible, to our staff, our maintenance team, and all of our teachers and everybody who worked so hard over the last 16 months to pull this off. And you'll thank all of those who most generously supported this project. But here's the most significant way I want you to give thanks. This is the most important thing that you can do. And it's an expectation that we have for you. So listen very carefully. We expect that you will do the same thing for your children and someday for your grandchildren. And for the children and grandchildren of others too, because we're always concerned for more than just ourselves. And I don't just mean building beautiful spaces for our community to enjoy. The Midrash that Mrs. Weiser referenced earlier teaches us that we become builders, we become bonim, when we bring the values of our tradition into the world, when we become B'nai Torah. That's the connection. B'nai Torah, children of Torah, are boni. They are builders. And you, children, will give thanks most fully with your efforts to make the world a place where everyone can feel a sense of home, where everyone can feel loved and protected, where our world will truly be a world of kindness, of chesed, of dignity, of kavod, and of ahava, of love. And remember this too, this home will remain open to you forever. That's what a real home is. And it's our hope that you'll come back often to visit. And it's our dream even that someday you'll return to live here and you'll move back into this home with your children or grandchildren as students in our schools. And you'll bring them to this place to learn and play, to make meaning and change the world. And you'll tell them about this day. You'll tell them about this day. And you'll take them to that garden out there, and the trees will be mature and fully grown. Mia, how long will it take for those trees to be mature and fully grown? 10 years? That's it? Don't come back with grandchildren in 10 years. Okay? They'll be really maturely grown and tall, and you'll tell them that you remember the day when they were planted. And you'll point to that beam up there, and you'll tell them that you remember writing your name on that beam at the Purim Carnival when you were their age. And you'll show them other things, and this is what excites me to no end, you'll show them other things that we haven't designed yet. These guys have some ideas, but we haven't figured it out yet. And we haven't broken ground on that yet, and I promised Will that we wouldn't do it for at least a couple more weeks. He said at least a couple of weeks. But give us a little time to catch our breath, and together we're going to realize our master plan for this campus, for the renewal and revitalization of this extraordinary place, this sanctuary on a mountaintop. And you kids will show your kids new spaces for learning and creating and growing and gathering, and you're going to help us build those spaces. You'll be the ones that will be thanked on that day for your leadership, for your vision, and for your generosity. We give thanks for everything we've built so far. Yes, for the buildings and for this campus and for the programs and for our schools and for the community and the relationships and the meaning and the values and the Torah that we brought into the world. To be a Ben or Bat Torah is to keep building always a better world for ourselves, our children, our grandchildren, and for future generations far out across the horizon. And the groundbreaking for that project is really every day, every single day of our lives. In a moment, I'm going to invite some of our families to come forward to cut this ribbon, which symbolizes the official opening of this space. And then, immediately thereafter, we'll go to Mitzvah Day, and we'll join together to try to build a world that's just a little bit better than it was before. And that's how we give thanks. That's how we say Toda Rabah. And it's how we've been giving thanks since the time of Sarah and Abraham thousands of years ago. So it's now an honor to invite the Katz family, the Namias family, the Ruby family, and the Goodman family to please come forward with Rabbi Hersher and Tammy Weiser for the ribbon cutting ceremony, and we'll answer the question, how many Jews does it take to cut a giant orange ribbon?
stand up as we sing this Shehecheyanu together. So kids, please stand up. Join us in the Shehecheyanu with Cantor Lamb.
Shalom, Shalom, Shalom.